just get out there and be consistent and do your thing. But just realize this is a grind you're going to have to embrace, and you're going to have to realize you're going to be doing this for a long time before you catch that break. So as much as you want to quit, as much as you want to stop doing it, don't stop. If you really want to do it, the time, keep putting in time, keep doing different things, and you can get there. If you really want to do this, you could do it, but it's going to take a while, and as long as you embrace that, you're going to be in a good spot.
Julien Virgin.
Ladies and gentlemen, Julien Virgin coming to you live on location at IKONFC 4 live in Savannah, Georgia with the one, the only, Mike Heck. Mike, now how you doing, but how you living?
I'm living pretty good. It's nice to be on the other side of these things, not asking the questions, but answering the questions. So thank you for having me. I appreciate it very much.
I appreciate your time, and the reason I wanted to talk to you, man, is because I'm a journalist myself, and I see you doing exactly what I strive to do, man. And so I had to just understand who Mike Heck is. How did you get to where you are, and why do you do what you do?
How much time do you have, man?
Let's talk about it.
We could be here all day long. So basically, I just fell in love with MMA. I was in radio for a while. This is going to take a long story and make it extremely short. And then I just basically just went after it. I asked my wife after I was between jobs, I said, give me 1 year. Let me just go after this thing, freelance it, and just hustle. And if I don't get a job covering the sport, or if I'm not making enough money to support the family like I should be, then I will just stop altogether. And she was like, go for it. And then 6-7 months later, I'm with a great team at MMA Fighting. It's been a long road, but we made it. We have, in my opinion, the best team in all of MMA in terms of covering the sport in all different areas. And it's just really been a dream come true. And just coming to a card like this, like I've covered Bellator and covered a bunch of UFC events. I've covered BKFC. I've covered it all. But what I missed the most was covering some of these regional cards, some of these smaller shows, and just checking out some of the up-and-coming talent. And after watching this card that Jorge and everybody put on tonight, there's a lot of good talent. There's a lot of guys that we're going to see in the UFC or Bellator or some of these big promotions after seeing what I saw tonight. Very impressed with what I was able to experience tonight.
Absolutely. I was very impressed with the show that they put on as well, man. But I'm also just super impressed with your story and how you took that year and just really went after it, man. Let's dig a little deeper into that. What did that look like when you were on the journey of attempting to land this position?
So, like I said, I was in radio for a while. I was working basically, when I was covering MMA, I was working like 3 full-time jobs essentially. So I hosted my own radio show, and then I would host like trivia and karaoke nights, and then I would go back to the studio and like interview fighters at just random times. So I would just try. I didn't see my family all that often. Like they would fall asleep during trivia nights anyway, so like I can go home and I can't hang out with them anyway, so I would just take that time to work, and then I would go home, get like 3 or 4 hours sleep, and then see my family and do it all over again. So it's just kind of the grind that I took. And then I knew probably like 4 or 5 years before I took this route that like this is probably what I wanted to do, but we just really weren't in a position to do it at the time. So like I said, we got to that point where it's just like, just let me go after this. Like I really feel I could do it. My wife really believed in me. My son really believed in me, and they just kind of let me loose, let me do my thing, and that's how it happened. So, I mean, one thing I will tell up-and-coming journalists and up-and-coming reporters, this is not something it's not going to hit right away. This is something like if you want to cover MMA, you want to cover combat sports, just get out there and be consistent and do your thing, but just realize this is a grind you're going to have to embrace, and you're going to have to realize you're going to be doing this for a long time before you catch that break. So as much as you want to quit, as much as you want to stop doing it, don't stop. If you really want to do it, the time, keep putting in time, keep doing different things, and you can get there. If you really want to do this, you could do it, but it's going to take a while, and as long as you embrace that, you're going to be in a good spot.
What kept you going, Mike?
Just my storytelling. Just storytelling. I was always the interview guy. I was always the talker. I had no idea how to write anything. I had no idea how to produce video. I was an audio guy, and I just kind of taught myself how to do everything. And then going back and like watching my old video interviews is a nightmare because I was terrible. My editing skills were horrible, but I just kept practicing and practicing and practicing until I got somewhat decent. So yeah, you just try. Best piece of advice my father gave me is like, don't be great at one thing, try to be very good at everything. And that's like one lesson I tried to learn throughout this journey.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Heck joining me live on location in Savannah, Georgia. Mike, I stopped you because I watched your interview last night that you did with Jorge Masvidal in the middle of the street, and I love the way that you were so honest and open about the way that your XLR wasn't plugged in, because that's something that a lot of people just don't understand.
It was plugged in. It fried 70 seconds into the interview. So if going back and watching, I'm like, all right, sounds good. And then I just heard, and I was like, oh my God, where did it go? And it just went away. So yeah, the story to get to that interview was something else. Hats off to Jorge Masvidal, because he certainly didn't have to do that. And he certainly didn't have to come to the middle of the street in downtown Savannah to talk to me for 10 minutes. And he did it. It was ridiculous. And we just had a good time. So hats off to that guy. And again, like sometimes it's a gut punch. Like I remember I put it in our Slack channel that happened. And Ariel Hawani, who is my colleague, just hit me up and goes, hey, I remember the first time I lined up to interview Dana White. I had to wait 45 minutes to get time with him. And my XLR broke. And I had to run to my car and get a new one. And I didn't really have an extra one in my car, so I had to run to a music store about 15 minutes from here that closed at 7 p.m. And I got there like 6:59, and they had the key in the lock, ready to lock the door from the inside. I'm like, no, let me in. And they let me in and like figured out what was wrong with the mic, hooked me up with the new XLR, and big shout out to Masvidal for doing that, because he certainly didn't have to.
Indeed, man. Those things, they happen all the time, and those things aren't necessarily talked about when it comes to reporting and being a journalist. About sometimes, you not have enough room on your XLR. I mean, on your SD card, yeah. Or your batteries are gonna go dead, man. But these are all things that we deal with and that you get through. So, Mike Heck, before we part ways this evening, I want your final thoughts, man. Something on your mind, your body, your spirit that you can leave me with that I can take moving forward.
Just do your best. Wake up, feel grateful, put a smile on your face, and just be happy. I tell my kid all the time, you have 2 rules in life. Be nice and be nicer. Like, just be nice and have a smile on your face. If you do that, everything's going to be better. Life is stressful. There's enough negativity in the world. Don't be the cherry on top of the negativity sundae. Just take that sundae, smash it on the ground, and build a new one with your favorite ice cream and positivity, and put all the toppings you want on it. Just don't be a negative Nancy. Put a smile on your face. Be grateful for what you have, and that's the best way to do it. It doesn't matter how much money you make. Doesn't matter any of that. If you have that attitude, keep that smile every morning, and have a positive look on everything, you're going to be good to go. And that's what I tell my kid, and that's what I try to tell everybody. Like, just stay positive. Don't be a grump, and you'll be good to go.
Mike Heck, I appreciate your time, but more than that, I respect what you do.
Thank you.
So thank you.
You as well.
Indeed, man. Again, I'm Julien Virgin, joined here by Mike Heck of MMAfighting.com. One of the best in the game, man. So thank you for just showing some of that